Sexual assaults aren't reported to police. Even then, the vast majority of sexual abuse perpetrators will never go to jail. That's a reality one area woman knows too well.
Our Madeline O'Neill shares how she is continuing her decades-long fight for justice. Maddie?
Melisa Trejo, who now lives in Richland Center, is still seeking justice after reporting sexual abuse by her adoptive father, a known figure in Spring Green where she grew up. She says the system has failed her at every turn. In this quiet town,
Here, a bunch of documents.
Melisa Trejo wants someone to listen.
I'm 43, and I've been investigating this since I was 20 years old.
She's taken matters into her own hands,
I remember what I was wearing.
fighting for the child she was when she says no one else did.
And he confessed to sexual contact with me, and I don't understand why nothing was done.
From the outside, Trejo says her life in Spring Green looked picture perfect. Adopted from Colombia, along with her sister and brother, by a nurse and River Valley school teacher, Mike Hill.
He seemed like an amazing guy, but us kids knew what happened behind closed doors.
Prosecutors charged Hill earlier this year for sexually assaulting Trejo, but her story starts much earlier. Trejo says she first reported Hill sexually abused her to the Spring Green Police Department as early as 1989, but police say they have no such report.
Here, it has the date of 3/25/95.
But there is a report from 1995 outlining numerous abuse allegations, including inappropriate touching. In a 1995 interview with a detective, Hill admitted his daughter's leg came in contact with his genitals for about 30 seconds to a minute, saying it was poor judgment.
And that's the thing that is shocking, is that I have a police report and he clearly admitted to sexual contact with me.
Trejo says her adoptive mom stood by Hill. In Sauk County Department of Human Services documents Trejo obtained and shared with us, a therapist believed some kind of situation happened, but Trejo exaggerated it.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen this.
A CPS assessment recommended care plans that actually limited Trejo's ability to make claims against Hill. Documents show Sauk County DHS closed the 1995 case, and the Spring Green police chief signed off on them. He's since died.
Figuratively speaking, my adoptive father did the initial stab in the gut. My mother turned the knife. The Spring Green police turned the knife. DHS turned the knife. And it's that turning of the knife that it almost made it unsurvivable.
Madison attorney Amy Bogust works mainly with victims of domestic violence and sexual assault.
It's a culture where we try to shove things under the table.
She says people often don't want to believe a terrible truth, especially if a person is well respected. That makes sexual assault reports and charges rare, even in 2021.
It's just really difficult, and I think as a culture, we need to start really looking into trauma-informed investigations and believing victims.
In Trejo's case, it took decades of perseverance for her words to cut through the silence.
It's really how this all began, was Facebook.
Following posts describing her experiences with Hill, who was still a teacher in the River Valley District at the time, the Sauk County Sheriff's Office ended up opening a new investigation. That turned up people who claimed Hill sexually abused them, too. And a former student wrote to investigators telling them about what she called Hill's predatory nature.
I reviewed all of the reports.
Sauk County assigned former Marquette County District Attorney Richard DeFore as a special prosecutor for Hill's case at Trejo's request. He can't speak to why the old investigations halted, but said he felt Hill made admissions back then. And Trejo's reports were consistent.
I felt that it clearly was prosecutable, or I wouldn't have issued the charges.
The charges were significant. 3 counts of first-degree sexual assault of a child. But Hill never faced a jury or a verdict.
I just felt sick.
Trejo's told that in July, at age 69, Hill died in his sleep.
Despite him passing, my goal has not changed, and it's accountability.
It's a dark chapter of Trejo's life that may never close.
I want somebody to apologize.
After all this time, she hopes her words are finally enough to get people to listen.
There just has to be changes, and I'm not going away.
After more than 40 years, Hill retired from his teaching position in 2021. The River Valley School District told me they have no comment on personnel matters such as Hill's. Sauk County investigators say they were happy to assist in this case, but take no position on the original investigation done by Spring Green PD. The Spring Green police chief says no one currently in the department was around back in 1995 to comment. Now, we do have more details on this story on our website.